Hi guys, this is Dribble Lacrosse. On today's video, I'm gonna give you my rolling review of Iron Man. Iron Man 1. If you want to be more specific, the beginning of phase one in the MCU, third, but third movie in the MCU chronological order. Yes, people. Yes, my peeps. Yes, my peepers. Yes, my rollers. Here we go. Okay. So Tony Stark is like Bruce Wayne, but the but of the MCU. But his mom and dad did not get gunned down. But he has to follow. He has to follow. He's chasing the shadow. Tony is chasing the shadow of his father, Howard Howard Stark, who we saw in Captain America First Avenger. But but uh after Howard died, uh all of the all the all of the Howard all of the Stark Industries Stark Industries empire fell on came to or belonged to the heir apparent, meaning Tony. But Howard had Obadiah Stane, his best friend, and right hand dude. But when Tony graduated from college, MIT, Obi became Tony's right hand dude, just like he was with his father. But tragic. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, guys. Just like in the first, just like in Captain America, first Avengers, the first Avengers. Sorry, Howard is the dude. Is a smart dude, and Tony is a smart dude. But the evolution of weapons, of high tech weapons from World War II and to present day, MCU present day, meaning 2008 MCU, or 2008 2008 uh 2008 Stark Industries has evolved too. They're doing high tech weapons now, more high tech than World War II. But in a twist of fate, Tony is captured by the Ten Rings group. Now, the Ten Rings group is a group of separatists, and which guys, just for a quick note, the Ten Rings go way before, like, have a strong past, historical past, which I'll get into into at a later date with another MCU movie. But anyway, Tony travels to Qatar. I want to say Qatar or the Middle East, and he gets captured by the Ten Rings, Ten Rings group, and they basically torture. They basically torture. Tony, and before torturing him, a missile from the Ten Rings group basically disrupts the caravan of Tony's caravan to the army base that his best friend Colonel James Rhodes is a part of, or is based at. So this missile blows shrapnel. Yes, blows shrapnel into Tony's chest. But luckily his co-captive, his co-kidnapper or co-captive, Xing Xing develops or builds a blocker, a car battery energy restorer that basically becomes his energy blaster. Later on in the movie, that blocks the shrapnel from the bomb blast, from the missile blast, getting close to his heart. Then Xingxing, guys, you can check me on that. Xingxing tells Tony, Mr. Stark, see what your company gives to these people. Yes, weapons, and because of these weapons that you have given to the army, have given to the armed forces, these separatists, the Ten Rings, have demolished my village. Common. And Xingxing helps Tony develop his prototype suit before actually telling Jarvis, his intelligent computer, to make or develop the Iron Man suit that we know and love, and that he would call himself Iron Man later on. But what Tony did not know, the one that ordered the Ten Rings to kidnap him in the first place was Obadiah, Obi, because when Tony came back from his captive after escaping the Ten Rings compound, that tragically Xingxing did not accomplish it, did not accomplish that himself because he tragically died. He sacrificed himself to for so Tony could escape. But in in a press conference that Tony gave after coming back after escaping the Ten Rings compound, he said Tony said Tony Stark Industries is not going to build any more weapons of mass destruction. And of course, Obi heard that, and he was like, "Hold up! Hold your nachos!" And he did not like that. He basically took the reins. He took over Stark Industries he inherited Stark Industries because of Howard's death. Then the prodigal son returned, meaning Tony came back home after graduating from MIT, and then Obi became the second in command of Stark Industries. And now Tony escapes the Ten Rings that Obi ordered them to kill. To kill Tony, and now he wants to get rid of the legacy of his father, and the legacy that I'm building. And of course, Obi did not like that. So to put it short and sweet, guys, Obi basically flew to the Middle East with his henchmen, and stole, or let's say borrowed Tony's prototype suit from the Ten Rings, from the same group that he had ordered to kill Tony in the first place. But that's not all. Tony has a secretary or an assistant named Pepper Potts, and we could see a funny romantic tension between Tony and Pepper, but it just funny romantic tension up to this point. But after Pepper discovers a file containing a video from the Ten Rings showing, or basically asking Obi for more money to get the thing done with Tony. She basically arranges a promptu meeting with Agent Coulson. Now, before that, Agent Coulson had discussed or had given Pepper a shield Pepper a a contact number, the contact number of Shield. Now at this point, guys, Shield had a very long name still. It wasn't the Shield that we know and love. That we know and love at this point. Still, it had a very long name. So, at this second and actual impromptu meeting, Pepper directed Agent Coulson and his fellow Shield agents to to come with her to the Stark Industries reactor, which is a energy reactor that is set, or that is based in a inside a warehouse at Stark Industries. But at this point, guys, Obi the bald one, who's played by Obi the bald one, at this point had already had his people at Stark Industries make Tony's first prototype suit to his liking. And at this point, guys, Tony or Jarvis and Tony had already completed the Iron Man suit that we know and love. And guys, we would have an actual street fight between the two. But at the end of the fight, Tony or Iron Man would get the last laugh, because what the bald one Obi did not. The bald one Obadiah Stane did not count for is that the prototype suit that Tony built in captivity with Shinzing had its one fault. It wasn't acclimated enough to the cold and frigid temperatures of space, meaning of the sky. So Tony, meaning Iron Man, knew this, and he basically, guys, Obi was like, I have you now, Tony. We could have been something special, but you decided to return. And at this point, Obi had opened the suit. It wasn't had opened the suit. So Obi was showing himself, controlling the suit, and Pepper and Tony had instructed Pepper to go to the reactor control room, to turn on the reactor controls at a specific moment, and the reactor blew. The reactor energy blew went to the sky, but what Obi did not anticipate is that he was blocking his suit, meaning the Tony's first prototype suit that Obi was using was blocking the way of the reactor blast, of the reactor energy blast. So the suit, Obi took the full brunt of the energy, and the suit did too, and the suit
GCH, WhatsApp audio.
and the suit did too, and obviously Obi fell. Obi fell into the reactor, and then the reactor blew up, and it was a big explosion. Then a few weeks went by, and basically Shield, or Agent Coulson a few weeks went by, and Agent Coulson had a cover story that Obi was actually Tony's bodyguard, and that he was taking a long vacation. Then, guys, at another press conference, Tony had an exclusive bombshell, and that bombshell is that he basically said to the reporters at the news conference that he is Iron Man. And with that, guys, this third movie in chronological order of the MCU timeline, but if you want to get specifically into the timeline, but if you don't want to get into the actual timeline specifically, Iron Man is the beginning of Phase 1 of the MCU. So with that, guys, with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Leave a like and let me know in the comments if you want to, guys, if you had a bald partner in your high-tech company, like in Stark Industries, like Tony did with Obi. What would you do if your Obi of your high-tech company, weapon company, became evil and was after and wanted to break your bones and hired people to break your bones? And what would you do? So with that being said, thank you for watching. Remember to leave a like, and with that, bye.